Today we're here to celebrate the millionth swipe on Omni. 69 days, 9 hours, and 5 minutes ago at 9:05 p.m. on Thursday, August 8th, a subway customer at this station, Fulton Center, gave us the millionth successful tap into the system. By our initial estimates, and I think we probably underestimated, we didn't think we'd get to the millionth tap during the public pilot. As you know, Omni exists on the 4, 5, and 6, including this station from Grand Central to Barclays on all Staten Island buses. The public pilot was launched on May 31st on Staten Island MTA buses, as I said, and at 16 subway stations on the Lexington Avenue 4, 5, and 6. We projected 7,000 taps in the first week, but customers that first week almost tripled that number, about 18,000. Customers have been tapping onto Staten Island MTA buses and to subways at a rate of about 22,000 taps per weekday, and that estimate too number far exceeds our initial estimates. I think the fact we've gotten to the millionth tap so quickly affirms the acceptance by our customers, who find it unbelievably convenient. It shows that something we already know, which is that New Yorkers are tech savvy and willing to try new technology, whether it's a digital wallet, and I'm going to turn to Al Petre in a second to talk about that. Lastly, before I turn it over to Al and to Natalia, is one of the biggest surprises we're taking away from the success of Omni is that a huge majority of tappers are using digital wallets on their smartphones or wearables. About 80% of Omni customers are tapping in through digital wallets. The last thing I'll say before turning it over to Al is that in addition to wide acceptance by our customers, the Omni project continues to be on time and on budget, as we reported to the MTA board in the last 60 days. With that, Al Petre.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I work on this project round the clock, and I'm pleased to be here. So one of the things that Pat mentioned related to the fact that the digital wallet has been more successful than what we anticipated. And the reason for that has to do with a few factors. First, the banking industry didn't issue the cards, I think, as quickly as we'd have liked. We were told we're the chicken and the egg scenario. You know, when you have the validators, we'll issue the cards. So they're scrambling now, and the digital wallet allows you to take a card that's not contactless, and like, for instance, this is my card that's not contactless, and I can easily put it in my digital wallet. And once I put it in my digital wallet, what it allows me to do is pay my fare automatically, and you can actually see my digital wallet has in it my credit card. So that works real well for us. Our customers love it. 80% of our taps are all related to the digital wallet. And the way it works is if you enable the transit mode, for instance on an Apple iPhone, you don't even have to wake the phone up. As you approach the turnstile, the reader will wake the phone up, and it'll make that transaction within about 500 milliseconds. So it's super convenient. If you register your account, you can also look at all your transactions in one place. You can go omni.info. All the information about our account registration is there, and it makes it very convenient for our customers. And that's what we're about, trying to make it easy for our customers to pay their fares. So with the success of the project to date, I couldn't be more pleased. Pat's been super supportive from the MTA side. We have a tremendous team. I get to stand here and take the credit, but in the reality, I'm a little tiny person in this organization that has huge support from a very strong team, and we have a very good contractor and partner in Cubic. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to take them later or whatever, however you want to work it.
Natalia, please.
Good morning. My name is Natalia Quintero. Good morning. My name is Natalia Quintero, and I am the director of the Transit Tech Lab. The Transit Tech Lab is an initiative of the Transit Innovation Partnership, which is a public-private collaboration between the Partnership for New York City and the MTA. Our goal being to make New York City the world leader in public transit, one of our primary initiatives has been to engage innovative mobility technologies and bring them to New York City to test their technology and deploy it in New York City. I think today we're seeing one of those, just one initiative where technology is being leveraged to improve public transit for all riders, and we're excited at the Transit Tech Lab to have 4 additional companies that are being tested in and deployed both for buses and subways. We're looking for technologies to make buses faster and more efficient, and deploying technology that will make subways have better predictive analytics and better communicate to customers any potential delays. So, this is only possible with very strong commitment from the MTA to invest in mobility and innovative cutting-edge technology, and we're grateful for the support that leadership at the MTA has provided, as well as leadership from the governor's office. Yeah, so the elevator pitch for the Transit Tech Lab is it's a process that brings in innovative mobility companies from around the world to New York City and directly into the MTA, where we're able to basically test their technology in the context of the MTA and in the context of New York City, and really see how we can bring in the most developed cutting-edge mobility technology to the city and make sure that New York City riders have the best technology that's out there delivered directly to them.
On topic first, Clayton.
So the way the system operates is we run our own back end. Our back end is a data center that parses all this information. And as an example, I don't even know who made the millionth tap. And unless we were to get a court order from a judge and go through several different of our partners, we wouldn't know that information. It's anonymous to us. If you register your account, there's some things we can do, but again, it remains anonymous within our system. We don't release it. We don't sell our data. The credit card companies don't have access to our data. They don't know where you've traveled. They only know you paid a fare, no different than any other transaction you would make. Visa will know that you paid a fare at New York City Transit. That's what they'll know. And now if you register on our website, in our own account, in your own account, you can then track your usage. You personally can track your usage, but that usage stays within your account, and we don't share that with anyone else.
Clayton, we've been very focused on data privacy issues from the very beginning, and I think have built world-class protections into the system. Anybody else? Dan. Yeah, Dan, as I said, I think we underestimated. I think it's fair to say that the millionth tap, at this point, we're 3 to 4 times higher than the number we anticipated. As I said, I think we happily underestimated, and our customers proved us wrong on the high side.
What's going on behind the scenes now for the expansion?
Yeah, look, we will have deployed Omni to the entire subway system and bus system by the end of next year. It's an ambitious goal. We expect to meet it, and as I said, the project's on time and on budget. And Al and I and Wayne Leiden and the entire team are committed to keeping it that way.
Considering how many people are using it, was there any thoughts of speeding up that timeline, or what's the hurdles, or what's keeping you from expediting?
Then here's what we did. We wanted to come up with a schedule, announce it to the public, and make sure it was one that we could meet. There are other places around the world that have been more aggressive and have disappointed customers. We didn't want to do that. We're comfortable with where we are. On time and on budget is exactly where we want to be. The system will be deployed to all subways and buses by the end of next year, and I think customers are voting with their smartphones and contactless credit cards. Rich.
So I'm not sure if I would use the term sophisticated. What I would say is that we are a state-of-the-art system, and because we're new and because this project is a design-build project, we're able to design things and not have them in the pipeline for years and years and years and then execute an old design. So the design, the technology is all state-of-the-art, and it is certainly a very sophisticated system. There are other systems in the world that are going in as we speak. So they're also very sophisticated. I can only speak for where we are, and we are certainly at the cutting edge on technology, but as we like to say, we like cutting edge, not bleeding edge.
Well, look, I think the NYPD has done a good job in the following respect. Number of arrests significantly down, number of summons significantly up. The diversity issue is of great concern to us at the MTA. We're in constant dialogue, including as recent as today, with respect to the NYPD's policing, and we're looking forward to those numbers changing, except the decline in arrests and the increase in summons relative to arrests. Please. Do you want to speak to that, Al?
So we're going to finish off the Lex line up to 125th Street. And from that point on, as we are working right now, we're continuing to roll out the infrastructure necessary, the network infrastructure and the hardware necessary to light up the rest of the system. So we have great flexibility in where we go next. And the system will be, basically, I guess the easiest way for me to answer is we haven't made a final decision, but obviously we're going to go to our heaviest stations. We're going to light those up so we get interoperability, look at bus transfer points. Our customers pretty much know what that means. And I think it took almost 3 years to roll MetroCard out end to end. We'll be doing this by October of next year. We'll be done. So we have some flexibility. I don't think we want to necessarily just do a line-by-line rollout. I think we want to hit some of our heaviest stations so we get the most usage and transfer points, and we can roll a line out as well. As I said, once the infrastructure is done, the rollout process is very easy. So we have a great deal of flexibility. That's the answer to your question.
Yeah, the rollout's going to be customer-focused. We're going to go where greater numbers of customers can take advantage of Omni earlier. Rich. Of course. Yeah, I've got contactless credit cards in my wallet. I think 3 of them. I've got one of my credit cards tied into my iPhone. I've used it. It's been seamless every time.
So if you want, I can do a demo if you want to see how it works.
Sure.
So you can see my phone is. I'm going to relock it. My phone is in its lock state. It's So I'm going to show you how it works. So all a customer has to do is remove their phone and get it within an inch or so of the reader, and it will pick up your contactless wallet and transact the fare. And I'll show you. Okay, no problem. No problem. But that's the process.
Yeah. The problems and issues were identified prior to the rollout at the end of May. I'm glad we did it that way. Customers have experienced a seamless experience, and our desire and our goal is to keep it that way.
We really haven't had anything like that. We've mostly had things where people didn't understand perhaps how the system worked. When we're in what's called a transit transaction mode. It's a different way of processing transactions than in a retail market. So when a customer gets an authorization for a transaction, the authorization doesn't necessarily mean they paid that fare yet. And in some cases, the authorization the banks were putting through were greater than $275. So it looked like they were paying more than $275. But that's an authorization. It's not a charge. Now, your statement would never show it, but customers have the ability now to go online and look at their accounts instantaneously. So we did get some calls that say, well, I was charged $6. But if you look 4 hours later, you see you actually only paid $275. The authorization gets processed, and then the charge goes through. So there was some education. There was also some modifying of our software, and we're continuing to do this. We want to make it as seamless as possible and as quick and easy for our customers to understand. And we continue to update our software, and the process is an ongoing thing. And we've got a lot more to do. We've got to introduce time-based passes. We've got our senior citizens. We've got our students. And it's important to know, every single functionality that MetroCard delivers today will be replaced in kind, equal or better under Omni. So our reduced fare folks, our students, they don't have to worry. They're not going to lose their benefits. MetroCard runs side by side with Omni till this project is complete.
Look, the basic principle in Omni is customer choice. So customers today can continue to use a MetroCard. At some point, they'll use an Omni card in the future. If they want to use cash, they can use cash. If they want to use contactless credit cards, they can do that. Smartphones, Apple Watches, other devices. So the system is based on customer choice and expanding it, point one. Point two, the MetroCard system has served the MTA in New York City and the region for 25 years with great distinction. MetroCard is one of the great brands. The MetroCard system is old, it's aging. We want to give customers a 21st century experience. And third, the operating costs of MetroCard, just given the age of the system, have been increasing. So we expect a reduction in operating costs going forward. Those are the advantages both to customers and to the MTA. Yes?
So the rollout is in stages. So we're going to be introducing a virtual card and also an Omni card that customers can purchase themselves. So that's going to be more in the tune of around February of 2021. And you'll be able to link your own credit card to a virtual ticket that will allow you to do 7 or 30 day, as well as buy a physical Omni card. Not every customer has a bank account, and we certainly recognize that we will need to sell cards to our customers. So we will do that as well. And an Omni card will be available for customers to pay cash and use the system, or link their credit card to the Omni card as well, and then you basically have a card that replenishes itself.
David. Well, look, David, I'm not going to speak about the substance or status of contract collective bargaining negotiations. Haven't done that in the past, don't intend to do it. I read your piece. As you may recall, I spoke at the last board meeting about employee availability being an important issue. I continue to believe that as an issue that all the MTA agencies have to face, and it's a significant factor, I believe, in overtime. Beyond that, I don't have any comment. The board meeting, as we mentioned, is not a meeting at which action is going to be taken. It's going to be briefings on a number of important subjects, and I expect there'll be discussion on all of these issues. Clayton. No, I don't think so at all. There's the Taylor law, obviously, but discussions and negotiations are going on. Beyond that, I don't have any comment. Thanks, everybody.